Welcome to How to Grow a Garden. I'm Scarlett. Today I want to talk to you about planting a rose. Do you like that? Now I dug the hole twice the size of the rose. I threw in a banana, a nice brown banana, and I'm going to throw in a large bucket of compost. Roses are full sun lovers. Do you know that? Yes, they are. And they require at least 6 hours of sun every day. Make sure that the soil that you use is something you can really compact, you can really squish in and make it hard. You don't want a plant that's wiggly. The wind comes along. If you use something like potting soil, it's really light and fluffy, not this, but something really light and fluffy like that. And the wind comes along and just blows over your tree, your rose, whatever it is you potted in. I filled the hole with water. Now what I would ideally like to do is wait for the water to drain out and then fill it again. I'm noticing it's not draining as fast as I want, which means that I have very dense soil. So when planting a rose, you want to take that rose and put it into water, and you want to let it soak for about 2 hours. So I'm going to turn it over and hope that it's wet enough it's going to fall right out. Give it a little squish, kind of roll it out where the rose hits the root. There's a good chance there's no thorns there. Mind you, there is about half a centimeter higher, well, sorry, half an inch higher or so. So that's a place where you can kind of hold it. I think I'm going to just mark these. There we go. Okay. He's out of his butt. Now, next thing. I'm going to see if I need to unwound some of this root boundary stuff. I think it looks pretty good actually. I'll take off just a little bit in the bottom. Tease the roots, as they say. Take my extra soil and throw that in there. And I want that down the bottom where the roots are going to be, so that there's a certain amount of soil, good soil, underneath the roots. Now, I've also put the hole as far back as possible because I really want to attach this onto the barn itself. Just put it in and put the dirt back on top, squish it in tight, and I'm done. Well, let's see how easy that is. And covered in thorns. Also, I want the back, I think that's the back, that's good and flat against the wall. Yeah, that's better. Get it way up in that edge. Now I don't want to put the dandelion back in, that's not good. But the rest of the soil is just going to all go back in here while I'm holding it tight in place. Now if you can find someone to do this with you, that will probably be the easiest. I've got all this water in here, so what I want to do is mound the dirt up, because I know once the water comes out, once the water sinks in, it's going to go down. Now I will watch that it goes down. I don't want it to stay piled like this. I want to step on it in a few hours and make sure that it really compacts down. Because otherwise you could get something called stem rot, which is down at the base. So instead of watering your roses on a daily basis and kind of making the whole thing wet, and then just getting the surface wet, you want to give it a good soak that goes deep down into the ground. When you do water your roses, make sure that you keep your leaves nice and dry. If this is something you can't do and you have to get it wet, then when you water, if you water by the top and you get everything wet, make sure that you do it in the morning, so there's lots of time for the rose to recover between your morning watering and the dew in the evening. What you don't want is for all of this foliage to be wet going into the nighttime or going into the evening and overnight, because that is going to promote disease. Roses need slightly acidic soil. Between 6.3 and 6.8 is going to be best. Feed your roses monthly in spring and summer. I recommend a seaweed tea, and make sure to mulch the base of your plant with either leaf mold or wood chips. This will keep the weeds away, so they won't be in competition for the nutrients in the ground, but also It helps keep disease away. And most roses do not mean to be pruned until they're in their dormant stage, which normally means in the winter. But some roses, such like a climber, not this one, but the one I have on the tree behind me, those like to be pruned after the flowers are done. I'm Scarlett, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to know more about how to train your rose or how to protect it during the winter, then check out my winter playlist or my rose playlist for all things relating to rose. How to prune them, how to train them, how to overwinter them, etc. There's lots of cool stuff on this channel, and I do hope that you stick around and check it out. Toodaloo!